Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 1 in a series between 120 and Emalfan. 120 spawning on the top right hand side of the map as the purple Undead. Meanwhile, Emalfan has spawned as the teal human over here on the bottom left. This is going to be human versus Undead in this 1v1 matchup as things are getting underway. We'll see what's going to be really unfolding here in this particular matchup, as I am expecting an Archmage versus a Death Knight, just because those particular heroes are better and more capable of leading the remainder of the armies than, say, the Mountain. Well, Mountain King is a good runner-up. I would be absolutely shocked and amazed if it is a Paladin or a Blood Mage first. I don't believe I've seen a Blood Mage first in professional play ever, and well, if I see a Dreadlord first, I will know that I have gone back in time to the days of Reign of Chaos. Tomb of Relics quickly being placed down there as an Acolyte now moves about to get in a bit of scouting. Whenever there is an Undead player in the game, sheep and pigs have to be on the lookout, as the Acolyte just goes out, takes down a sheep, and moves along his merry way right there. It is going to be a Death Knight going up against an Archmage. No big surprises there, but it's really going to be what these particular players do with those specific heroes that sets the pace for the game. We are going to be looking at some footmen being trained up. There is a 5-3-3 creep camp very much nearby alongside this 3-1-1. Both of those very, very easy to clear out. As well, a rabbit now on the run away from an Acolyte as well. Rabbits and sheep, well, be on the lookout. Acolytes got your name and number. Footmen now moving out across the field, looking to do a bit of scouting. We'll see what he's really going to be able to do here as the Archmage quickly calls to arms some of these units here. Going to go ahead and aggro that Renegade Wizard, get the Footmen into position. Once you see the Purge go down on a Militia, dropping that Water Elemental, allowing the Water Elemental to tank all of that damage, and allowing the Archmage to pick up those Gloves of Haste. Gonna waste no time whatsoever. Now pulling back the other which way again. Water Elemental is gonna be taking more damage again, as the remainder of the Rogues and Apprentice Wizards will get finished off. Alright, Rogue now gonna get taken down. I believe that was a Manual of Health. Yes, it was. Gonna go up to 4 or 525 now instead of the 475, which is standard on a level 2 Archmage. Now up to 600 after the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3, as he now throws down another Water Elemental. A little bit of a curious move there, as the Death Knight does in fact show up. 2 Rod of Necromancy charges, as the Rod of Necromancy, the Acolytes and the Skeletal Minions able to clear some units away from that Archmage. Archmage now looking to use Militia and call them over in order to set up an expansion, clearing out a difficult Rock Golem creep camp. If the Death Knight can get a lot of Death Coils off, this could potentially be a bit of a problem. Boulder hitting onto that Archmage. As you see, the Skeletal Minion is now trying to run around. Archmage getting a little bit more experience again. There's a Death Coil. Oh, does not get that last bit of experience, as the Archmage is now sitting at level 2, getting much, much stronger. Alright, Damage now trying to push back that Death Knight. Death Coil onto a Militia, as another Militia could get taken out. You can see that the Archmage is completely surrounded here, getting up to level 3. And now with Wand of Mana Stealing, may try and steal a bit of mana from that Death Knight. Death Knight now opting to back away instead. Some Skeletal Minions going to be making their way over. Oh, this poor peasant knows what's going to hit him, and that is the sword, the blunt end of a Skeletal Minion sword right there. Almost like a bludgeon, taking or dealing a bit of damage. Alright, Archmage going to finish off some Skeletal Warriors there. There goes one. Another one could get taken down, but the Archmage is comfortably sitting at level 3, as we are now setting up this expansion by Emalfan. 120 did not do a good enough job to try and stop this expansion at all, and this may come back to haunt him, as the Death Knight now retreats back to his neck of the woods in order to get a bit more experience as well. Death Knight does pick up Claws of Attack +6. Very, very strong items indeed. But what is his follow-up play going to be? Yes, Arya?
I saw a skeletal minion.
Yeah, you did see a Skeletal Minion. Alright, Footmen, actually, excuse me, Skeletal Minions now chasing around that Archmage. Death Knight now making his way back down across here. as the Footman may try and get a surround on that Death Knight. No, Death Knight just going to simply walk back down. There is one Scout Tower, but it is not yet quite an Arcane Tower, as the Death Knight gonna grab some skeletal minions once more. All right, Scout Tower gonna get pressured and damaged here. We need to upgrade to an Arcane Tower. There you go, as the peasants are doing a bit of repairs. All right, low hit point Footman now needs to retreat. Meanwhile, back off to the north, it looks as though a water elemental now trying to get some damage onto that slaughterhouse as the Archmage shows up to the party. All right, did we see the Wand of Mana Stealing being used? I do not believe so. Death Knight still has enough mana for a Death Coil. Water Elemental getting in some easy damage onto some skeletal minions, as the Archmage is just off to the races again. Well, with no easy access to a shop. No shop, and that is going to be a problem. The Archmage doesn't have any ways to heal or get any additional mana, as the Footmen are now coming back in to join in on the fight. All right, more damage coming across. Archmage with that Gloves of Haste, firing those fireballs 15% faster. As the Crypt Fiend's now looking to back off again. All right, Skeletal Minion's gonna go ahead and try and retreat back out. You do not want to give any more free experience to that Archmage, who will then be able to drop out more level 2 water elementals with level 2 Brilliance Aura. All right, in comes the engagement. Footman needs to back off. That is a lot of damage being absorbed, and down it goes. Death Coil delivers the final blow, as the Crypt Fiend now just getting some splash damage on, or getting some damage onto that water elemental. Water elemental trying to fight back as well, trying to get a little bit more damage continually. Death Knight down to 211 hit points. Crypt Fiend very, very low on hit points. May need to get a Death Coil off onto that Crypt Fiend right there, if it can in fact work out. The big question is going to be whether or not the Death Knight will get to level 3 first. He wants to get a level 2 Death Coil off onto that Crypt Fiend. Instead, things are going to get from bad to worse, as now we see a lot of repairs now getting underway. Militia may try and do a bit of repairs as well, as the Archmage going to be coming over with a lot of Militia again. All right, Death Knight gets up to level 3, gets the level 2 Death Coil down, and that is going to be a big deal indeed, as the Death Knight still has another Death Coil ready to go, and it will deliver that saving blow there. All right, Militia now in the mad run back home. There is not that much of an army coming in from Emalfan, as the Footmen also do not have the Fen. Obsidian statues now show up to the party, as we see a large army now just rushing inside. This is a bit of a split attack. What is going on? Split attack on both sides, as the Footmen are trying to engage here. There's the defend that we were talking about, as we see now the ghouls are fighting back here. Meanwhile, back down across here, just water elemental is being used to try and defend this location. Who has the stronger army? That is the big question there, as the Crypt Fiend down to 38 hit points, able to escape. I thought the Archmage would try and get that killing blow there, but does not, as we are looking at another guard tower being added. All right, Obsidian statues now healing away. Are we going to get some repairs off? Meanwhile, back off to the north here, Footmen and ghouls. What is happening? Why would you purposely position yourself inside a knight or an undead base that can deal so much damage, as we now see the Archmage getting melted by a level 2 Death Coil and a level 1 Frost Nova. All right, Emalfan seem to have everything going for him, and now completely flipped the script, as 120 able to push down and now start dealing some serious damage to all of these peasants. Obsidian statues providing much of the necessary heal. Death Knight going after the Footman here. Lich losing a lot of mana. What is going on? A lot of that mana now completely gone. Crypt Fiend's now looking to back off here, as the Archmage was resurrected at the tavern, and that is still a bit of ways to go, as we are finally looking at an Arcane Vault. A new Scout Tower is being placed down. No Masonry upgrades at all. 38 over 54, as Footmen are getting taken down here. And 120 defends the split attack with by just using his natural base defense. You do not just leave Footmen inside your opponent's undead base, especially if they have or an upgraded necropolis. Upgrading the necropolis, now upgrading the Black Citadel, as we're now looking at, well, the Crypt Fiends just poking apart the rest of these guard towers. Meat Wagons joining in the fight, and it looks as though 120 is going to be able to finish this Arcane Vault off, and perhaps the remaining units. Lich does have enough mana for a Frost Nova. That would significantly slow things down a bit. Crypt Fiends also just wandering a bit around here, knowing that, hey, you know what? If the Militia try and chase down a Crypt Fiend, that frost armor is just going to slow them down some more, and I already have double obsidian statues. Archmage now in the base on the other end, trying to finish off what his opponent had started. Death Knight has finally made its way over, but I believe the damage is pretty much superficial right now. Only one Acolyte down as the Archmage now arrives to the other side of the party. Alright, without any additional units to deal damage, without any additional units to deal damage, is it going to be enough? You can see the Archmage down to 19 hit points. It does get taken out again, and there is the GG. 120 taking game number 1 in this series, almost doubling his opponent's hero score. Level 3 compared to only a level 3 Archmage. And even though there was significantly more resources mined by Emalfan, 120 still takes the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.